Like, oh my god.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Crusade of Thorns, a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Los Angeles, 1943, part of a 3-chronicle series appearing both here on Welcome to the Party and on our dear partner channel, Soul Bear RPG. Tonight we are giving you the Camarilla version of the events leading up to the Anarch Revolt. So I hope you will all enjoy the crap out of what you're about to see. I have a couple of quick announcements before we get rolling tonight. The first one is all of our streams on Welcome to the Party and all the A Crusade of Thorns streams for the course of this run. We are raising funds for Rainbow Railroad. Rainbow Railroad is a charity that exists to help LGBTQAI plus folk in dangerous parts of the world get out of those places to places where they can find a greater freedom. And so if you feel like this is a worthy cause, we hope you will join us in supporting Rainbow Railroad by clicking on the link below. Also, if you're interested in the setting or any of the custom rules that we've written, you can see 2 links down below at the top of the description. The first one is the Sabbat Guidebook, which contains an entirely new set of rules for version 5 that go over the Sabbat, for everything from a new Paths of Inhumanity to Vicissitude and Obtenebration rules, and bespoke rules for both the Sombra and the Zamisi, so you should totally check both of those out. Hopefully coming by the end of the month, we will have a full book that's probably going to weigh in at about 100 pages that will be an entire chronicle book for A Crusade of Thorns, and we're going to be giving it away for free. So we're going to be really excited to be able to share that with you when it's done, and both of these pieces are 2 little bites of that. Last but not least, we are incredibly proud to announce a new sponsor on the show tonight as well. That's So Nerdware Games. So Nerdware Games does amazing merch and is currently in the process of setting up a merch store for us. I'm not sure it's actually set up yet, but if you want to go there and buy any sort of amazing gaming apparel, you can, and if you use the code WELCOME, you'll get 10% off shirts and t-shirts and tumblers and blankets and all sorts of crazy stuff. And soon, we're going to have merch for a bunch of our different shows, including A Crusade of Thorns. So I hope you'll go check them out. And of course, our longtime sponsors, Devon Rue, only the best in fantasy cartography and tabletop loot, where you can get all sorts of fun dice for your role-playing needs. So thank you for joining us. I want to throw it around to the team. First up, I'm Throck, also known as Sean. Throck Plays. I'm the Camarilla storyteller, and this insanity was a little bit my brainchild, and I went, hey, everybody want to run like 3 games with like 15 players? And enough people said yes that now we're doing it. So hi, nice to meet you. I'm pretty excited to be here with this group of amazing human beings tonight, none of whom have played Vampire in, at the very least, the last decade, at the most in this lifetime. So I'll be guiding what is essentially a complete group of newbies through a storyline, and I'm very excited about that. We'll just start right over here, right next to me, with Jeff Holland. Say hi, Jeff. Tell us who you're playing tonight.
Hey ho, I'm Jeff Holland. I'll be playing Silas Blackthorn, Bruja Investigator.
Awesome. Let's do Leona.
Hi, my name is Leona, and I am playing Audra.
Excellent. She is a Ventru, yes? Awesome. And then, M.
Hi, I'll be playing Alexander, a Toreador chronicler.
Excellent. And Jim DeBison. Is Bisonic, what do you prefer? Kevin?
Kevin's good. I have like 5 names online.
You have 5? You're a man of many names.
I apologize. Bisonic or Kevin's best. Hi, I'm playing Calvin tonight. I am a Ventru financier and producer.
Excellent. And last but not least, Nerdy Teddy Bear.
Hi, yeah, I'm playing Celine, a Toreador club owner.
Yeah, and it's the club that is the domain, that is kind of the heart of the domain of this coterie. And so, is everybody ready to get started?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay! The sun sets over downtown LA, and slowly, the blood within each of your corpses begins to stir, bringing you to wakefulness. You come to consciousness in the Redden building, your haven, and a few floors below you can hear the muted rumblings of conversation and live music in Vien d'Oro, your club, and the heart of your domain in downtown Los Angeles. Tonight will be a busy night. It's the Prince's formal Elysium, and you're each expected to attend. There, you'll be able to catch up on the latest gossip, make connections, see and be seen by the great and small. This month, Elysium is being hosted by Clan Malkavian on the grounds of Caltech. And as each of you pull yourselves out of your beds in each of your rooms, I need you to make for me, as you rise for the night, your first roll of the game, a rouse check. It happens at the beginning of every night when you wake up. It tells us how much blood and how hungry you are to begin the game. And you will find this roll on the bottom right-hand corner of your... So, on the bottom left-hand corner, I think, of your character sheet. All right. So, Silas, you will not gain hunger. Alexander and... Adra, Alexander, and Calvin, please mark your hunger at 2. 2 dots. So as you wake up and prepare for the night, knowing that the party's just getting started downtown, how do you prepare, or downstairs, how do each of you go about preparing for the evening?
Alright, Calvin's going to wake up and feed his cat, like he does every day when he wakes. Yes, he's going to put on a very nice suit. He's going to look as sharp as possible, and he's going to call and check in with his secretary, Sydney Shepard.
You're calling her?
Yes. Unless she would have... Actually, she probably would have left a note for me when I woke up if there were any messages or things I needed to respond to right away.
Yes. There actually is a knock at your door. Almost immediately after your feet hit the ground, there's that chink of cat food into the bowl, and then you hear a dun-dun-dun. Seth!
Yeah. Yes?
It's Sydney.
Come on in, Sydney.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good evening.
Or evening for you. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Quite well, thank you. And how's business?
It's good. It's a big day today, sir. Do you want me to help you get dressed or anything? Do you need anything this evening?
No, I can't think of anything pressing right now.
All right, well, I have a car prepared for you and your friends to get you over to the Elysium. It starts in about an hour and a half.
You're the best, Sydney.
I'm here for you, sir.
All right, and then I'll go. In my front hallway, there is a giant picture that looks like me, but 30 years older. It is an older version, and it has a little nameplate on it that says William Redden.
And so what about the rest of you? How do you begin your evening, the night of a major formal affair for the people of the Camarilla in Los Angeles?
Celine would get up, make her way to her vanity to get ready. She does it the same thing every day, so that she can walk the club and stuff, but today she's putting in extra effort.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think similarly. I'm sorry.
Let's do Adra than Alexander.
Yeah.
I was just going to say pretty similarly. I think Adra would want to kind of do the same thing, all the primping and preening and prepping. She wants to look good. She wants to, obviously, as always, make an excellent impression, get her gloves on, so on and so forth.
Excellent.
So Alexander would probably put on his best suit. Try to look the absolute best he can while catching up on any competing news or entertainment outlets, reading up on anything that might have come to the door, and finishing up any projects that might be underway. So like basic editing.
For sure. What are you working on?
At the moment, he's probably working on like a weekly article, so like a weekly editorial in terms of entertainment, something that he does every week. What's going on? Definitely putting on a spin towards this club. Advertising what's going on this week or even next week. Trying to get a little bit more free advertisement going. Free as in he doesn't have to pay for it.
Right, of course. Just get it published under your byline.
Have we mentioned the name of the club?
The Vien de Oro, correct?
Yes, the Vein of Gold.
Yes. Silas.
I wake up, I wrap my one necktie around me, and then I make 2 calls. One is to the desk sergeant at my police precinct and ask if anybody's been looking out after me. And then assuming no, then I make another call to the rat trap that I also keep as a resident and see if anybody was looking for me there, and hope that there was a no on that one as well.
It was a no on both, indeed. There's not been much happening. It's been a relatively quiet night. There's the one thing your desk sergeant will tell you is there's been another problem in East LA. Some Navy boys and some of the local Latino kids have been mixing it up again. And it's been... Some police are heading out there to try and break it up. But that's the only real issue that's happened over the evening so far. All right. And with that, you all meet up in the central room after you've each put yourself together a little bit. And it's the first time today you've seen each other. Knowing that this is coming this evening, do you want to share words or tell us how you each maybe look as you walk into this room for the first time in this chronicle and see each other? And let's just go in the opposite order, starting with Silas.
I'm wearing my favorite trench coat and my second favorite hat. And presumably clothing underneath it as well.
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah. Some pants.
I'm not one of those trench coat wearers.
The cops would have noticed by now, you'd think. I think Celine.
Celine's got red lips, the kind of same thing. She's got her absolute best dress on. And just hair done up, kind of like this, just down. She likes to wear her hair down.
Awesome. Audra, correct?
Audra, yeah. Audra, in addition to her gloves, she's just got this incredibly elegant dress on. It's a long, flowing, elegant dress, and she's got lots of jewels. She loves the decoration, the sparkles, just these, unlike these pearls, she's really got, quite a few sparkly jewels around her neck and on her ears and things like that. Some bracelets probably on top of the gloves.
Rocco? Alexander.
So Alexander, his best suit is something simple, probably a black 3-piece, even though that's possibly not the best given the war times. Definitely jacket, definitely vest, just because he's a little bit old-fashioned. And he would make sure everything is in its place. Tie is perfect. Everything sits just as is. Hair is neatly kept back. And he almost triple checks before meeting anybody that the attire is perfect.
I love it. Just very put together.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Calvin.
Calvin's going to saunter in, glasses, a fashionable tie, and a 2-piece suit, a fashionable hat, wearing a wristwatch. He's about 6 feet tall, very attractive, handsome man. And he's wearing an American flag, little pin on his lapel. And he says, "I've arranged a ride for tonight. Anyone have anything they need to bring up?"
Y'all sitting in the back?
We have a driver. You can sit next to them if you prefer. I still don't understand why, but... Nothing?
Oh, sounds good to me.
Hopefully it'll be a quiet night.
Yeah.
Let's go make friends and influence people.
Indeed. And with that, you make your way down the 2 flights of stairs into the club itself. Celine, the club is rocking and rolling tonight. There's kind of an old revival sort of ragtime band playing, and people are dancing. There's a number of Navy and Marines in like their fine dress uniforms. Moretti 92, thank you for the subscription. Dancing with their best girl, and you've got servers walking all around. It's the way you've set up your home is the security is subtle, but to your eyes, you notice it, and you see the bouncers. And you see the more well-trained individuals who meld into the crowd, but are definitely here. Do you have any business you want to take care of in the club before you leave?
I would want to stop by Ignis, since she's going to be staying back to manage the club for the night.
Of course. Hey, doll, what can I do for you?
Is everything set for tonight?
Yes. As you can see, we've already got a number of people coming in, and the line's already starting to go out the door. Things should be wonderful while you're gone.
And you remembered to set the VIP area for the special guests?
Of course, mistress. We will ensure that the VIPs who come through only have the best in food and drink. Rations be damned.
Good, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yep, remember to enjoy yourself tonight as well.
I will do my best in your service. Tell us what Ignis looks like.
Ignis is probably about 5'7", blonde hair, and she kind of looks what you would expect from a small town girl who ended up in the big city.
Kind of.
Is she blonde?
Yes.
Oh, you said that, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, Kelvin. She is blonde.
Just taking notes.
The crowds part as you exit, knowing who you are specifically, Celine, and noting the beauty, both of Calvin and Adra, who are both incredibly attractive. I have to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
As you exit into the world for the evening, a vampire does not look quite human enough to present themselves to the rest of the world unless they choose to spend a little bit of blood to make themselves look presentable. This is called Blush of Life. This will allow you to pass as a human being among the throngs of people who live and work in LA every evening. Would any of you like to do that? If you don't, you will be noticeably unwell and corpse-like in your look.
Celine definitely would.
Alexander would.
Okay.
I would as well, but I'm actually going to see if any of my girls are around. Any of my herd.
This is your domain, and you guys have a chassé of 2, and so I would say, and because you're in the heart of it, absolutely, you could feed before you leave.
Please excuse me a moment. I've got something to attend to.
So, Celine, you were going to gain 1 dot of hunger. Who else was going to spend a blush of life?
So it's a rouse check for that?
It is a rouse check for anyone who wants to look essentially human before walking out into the night.
I will do the same.
Okay. You guys are great. I love you.
Yeah, let's keep it simple to start.
All right. Another
All right.
rouse for me. I gain another hunger.
Yes. So all you should know, anytime it says hunger gain, you just add a dot to the bar on your hunger dice. And what that's going to do is replace hunger dice in your dice pool. So let's say you roll 8 dice for something. 3 of those dice will be hunger dice. Should you critically fail or critically succeed, and that failure or success includes hunger dice, it leads to what's called a messy critical or a bestial failure. And these are exactly what they sound like. The beast that resides within the heart of the vampire is responsible either for that success or failure, and so we figure out how that works. So just so you know, the more blood you spend, the more risk you take. And once you start getting to about hunger 3, you're starting to feel a little peckish.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to feed before I leave.
Snack time.
Num num num. All right, so you're not a consensualist. What is your feeding type?
Siren.
Oh, that's right. There are definitely a number of opportunities here for you to apply that trait, should you so choose. Why don't you make a persuasion we're going to use your seduction specialty for this then, right? And so that is going to be persuasion and charisma with an extra die for your specialty in seduction.
Modifier of 1?
Modifier 1, indeed. All right.
3 successes.
3 successes is great. So here's what I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes incredible. You find yourself a likely target, a buxom blonde who wishes one day to be a great, amazing star within Hollywood, and you sink your teeth into her neck, and you feel that sanguine resonance running through you, that joy and that hope for a new beginning, and you drink. And you drink. How much do you drink?
Only a little, not enough to injure.
Okay. That will take you about 10 minutes and remove 2 points of hunger. But you can never move down to less than 1 hunger unless you kill.
And I'm not willing to do that tonight.
Okay.
Yes, I tell her all about the movies I've worked on. What was the latest one? Regency or Reunion, which is about the underground French resistance. And I work at Metro Golden Mire, and I tell her about some of the stars I've met.
Oh, that's so impressive. Maybe you could get me an audition there someday, sir.
Oh, just maybe.
I'll come back and see you again.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Darla.
Darla. Of course, Darla, I'll never forget you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You've got a future here.
And with that, you make your way on the road from downtown LA up north to just south of Pasadena, where the Caltech campus resides. On the way, you notice a few things. You're in an amazing kind of mid-1930s style stretch limo that is owned by Calvin and being driven by one of his retainers. It's got these kind of sweeping lines to it. It's actually open air right now, and the seats face each other in the back. It's an incredibly high-class experience for those of you who aren't used to traveling like this. This is what luxury in roadsters feels like. And it's an odd sort of dichotomy to what you see as you drive through parts of downtown. Part of your way there takes you through Skid Row. Something like more than 10,000 homeless and unemployed live in this area in shanty towns. You move your way up through downtown into the area between downtown and Pasadena, and there are groups of youths dressed in these baggy suits with these huge ties, standing on the corners and just seeming to have a good time listening to music on the radio. From across the street, you see a few sailors yelling epithets at them. And it seems like they may be about to come to some kind of blows as your driver speeds on by. And you make your way to the Athenaeum. The Athenaeum is one of the most gorgeous buildings at Caltech during this time. It's built in the Spanish colonial style with the white stucco and the corrugated roofs, and it's got an underpin, and you should see that on your handouts now as well. But for those of you watching at home, it's got this white stucco exterior, and is a 2-story building with a drive-through. And as the limo pulls up, a footman comes to the door and opens it for you. Any of you who have been at any sort of Camarilla fete before knows this to be a footman of the Keeper of Elysium, Harper Dustvale. This is one of her retainers, who generally keeps the door at every formal Elysium and ensures that folks are properly checked in, and he opens the door and goes, "Good evening, sirs and madams. It is a pleasure to have you here this evening."
You are correct.
Please, the formal Elysium will be held in the main dining room, which is, if you go through the hallway, down to the left, you will see a large library and dining room kind of built together. There will be 2 footmen outside waiting for you.
Thank you so much. Is it customary to tip him?
It would be customary, yes.
I will give him a good tip.
Excellent.
I'll give him a normal tip.
Thank you for the information.
I will give him a comparatively bad tip.
I see the others offering tips. And
I'm rummaging around my pockets. I didn't know this would be a thing.
I already have it covered. Don't worry. Silas, this isn't the first time I've met you.
You're a real pal.
Yes. Yeah, and I will.
Okay.
I'm going to sweep on in
And what were you saying, Audra?
Oh, I was just saying to Calvin, well, thank you for that.
No problem. I always take care of my friends.
Excellent. So you make your way in under these hanging lights, as there's a high arched ceiling as you make your way into the first floor of the Athenaeum. There's these lush red carpets, and it's got very much that same Spanish colonial style on the inside with the exposed wood and the interior white stucco. There are a number of tapestries hanging along the halls, and every once in a while you'll pass a large sort of like open antechamber with either a large fireplace in it that's a reading room or something like that. And you'll notice a person or two in there during each one as you go through. But you see the 2 footmen at the end wearing red jackets and white shirts with black pants that have the like tuxedo stripe on the sides and polished to the T shoes. And inside that room, you see a long table, 40 foot long, or not 40 foot long, that can seat about 40 people. And on either side of it, there are a number of these kind of almost Roman-looking alcoves with the square sort of like indentations going all the way up and around. They're not very deep, maybe 7 or 8 feet, but each one contains books. It's a library and dining room put together with a number of chandeliers, the wrought iron style with the candles rising up, sitting over top of the table. And that, in this room you see a number of people each of you recognize. Celine, your sire, Flicker, is here. Audra, your grandsire, the prince, is here. I'm trying to see, who else do we have? Silas, one of your, not confidants, but somebody who you feel a certain kinship with, the Seneschal, is also here, Lucille Oberhofer. There are, it seems, a number of people missing, however. Among them, Alexander, your sire, Elizabeth, is not in attendance this evening.
Good.
And...
Obviously keeping that to himself, but definitely an internal good.
It also seems that the sheriff isn't here, but otherwise, were you looking for a specific individual within the kindred of quality within Los Angeles, you would certainly find them in this room tonight. There are probably 30 other kindred milling about, talking, dressed in formal, semi-formal, or just kind of beach-going, not like nighttime beach-going attire. And here, I want to kind of leave it up to you all to explore the room, talk to people. If you have specific people you want to interact with, or if you just want to try and maybe find rumors, a common thing in a room like this that's full of your peers is to look for rumors, or to, if you have a goal that you're trying to attempt to meet, find someone you think may be able to help you achieve that goal and strike up a conversation. So I'm interested in what you guys would like to accomplish in this Elysium.
Before we get too far, I will walk up to Alexander and kind of just put my arm in his and just walk with me a bit, Alexander.
Of course.
How are you tonight?
How am I?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of problems hearing, so I'm going to turn people up. I am well. How are you?
Good. It proves to be a festive night. And your work?
It's going well. I think I'm making a good headway for the club.
That's great to hear. Do make sure to enjoy yourself tonight.
Well, I will since Elizabeth is not here. Elizabeth is not here.
Yes, I did notice that. And then I will part ways with Alexander.
Awesome.
The first thing,
Calvin.
The first thing I was going to do is greet the prince formally in Russian.
Interesting.
Yes, I always make sure. Well, I'm aware that they're Russian?
Oh, the prince is not Russian. The prince is, no.
Okay, then I wouldn't
Amelia
do that.
Landerhaven, not Russian. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That would make sense to do.
Okay, so you're going to greet them formally in not Russian?
In English, yes.
Okay. Excellent.
Unless she's French.
She's not. She is,
okay.
You're not sure what her original extraction is. She's currently kindred.
Yeah.
And is probably what she would say, but has a mixed sort of European accent, as if she had spent some time there. As you approach, she's actually speaking with the Seneschal and a couple of other people. The Seneschal is kind of a... Plain is not the right word. They are she is kind of, she's a bruja and is kind of very relaxed, wearing a very relaxed sort of floral print dress. While the Prince Landerhaven, has her hair up, has this dark hair and curls, and has these freckles that come across her cheeks. And she's wearing a much more formal, almost, it's like the female version of the male suits that were made popular by,
Marlene
Dietrich, in the late 30s. She's wearing a suit like that, where she's kind of got the hat on, and it's kind of the close-waisted suit with the pants, and they seem to be having a discussion. But as you approach, seeing a member of her clan... Oh, go ahead.
I'll try to listen to what they're talking about, if I can hear a snippet or two, but they might see me before.
Go ahead and make a perception plus wits. This is exactly what you should be doing. This is all about the rumors. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, of course they're... Why would they put them in alphabetical order? Where's perception? No. I'm not saying a perception.
Please.
Awareness?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wits awareness. That is correct. My D&D got into my...
I do it all the time.
My Vampire 5e. Yeah. 4 successes. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Geez.
So that was awareness and wits together. You have 4 dice when it comes to those?
Yes, I've got 3 wits and 1 awareness.
Okay, just making sure. I don't want you to cheat yourself out of dice. Yeah, you get close enough, and you're able to kind of... There's a lot of chinking of glass and like the low susurration of people talking throughout the room. But you do catch this conversation about The Nosferatu whip is missing. The whip. So, just to give you guys an idea, the way the power structure within a Camarilla city works is there's the prince at the top. Their seneschal is their second in command. Their sheriff is their lawbringer, and the keeper of Elysium makes sure that events like this go well. And then there's the Primogen Council. The Primogen Council advises the prince and helps, and is kind of the senior member of each of the clans within the city. And apparently, the Nosferatu Primogen is Regina Wynn. Her brother, Hamilton Wynn, is the Nosferatu Whip. It sounds like he's gone missing, and that's why the sheriff isn't here, or something to do with Anarchs and the sheriff not being here, something. And it seems that they're worried about it, but they're like, there's people on it, and we think we'll find him, and this is just Hamilton being Hamilton. They're not really sure. But there's some concern that the Nosferatu whip seems to be missing, maybe?
I will, as I approach, I will clearly make it seem like I had not heard what they were saying. And, Your Majesty, Seneschal, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you.
Oh, well, hello. Kelvin, it's always a pleasure to see your face. This is Amelia. It's good to have you here.
Your tailor is fantastic.
Oh, yes, I see you have availed yourself of him. You look wonderfully cut in that suit, my good sir. How fares your night?
Excellent, in fact. Everything is as beautiful as this room.
Oh, well, I am surprised that the Malkavians have put on such a tasteful feat. Normally, they like to shock a little when they do these things, but tonight seems a bit different. And she points over at a gentleman wearing a tweed suit and kind of tan pants and like these brown loafers and says, Dr. Cross really decided to go all out this evening. I'm very excited. Any of you would know probably that Dr. Cross is the Malkavian Primogen, the senior member of the Malkavian clan in the city. I'm very excited about that.
I'm sure there will be some third act twist.
Oh, I'm sure, and I can't wait. Is there something specific? I'm going to hold informal office hours a bit later. We're discussing a matter right now, but if there's something I can do for you...
If there's something I can do for you, just let me know. I just wanted to make sure that everything was in line.
Yes. Well, there's always things, but everything seems to be mostly going well, and that's the best you can hope for these nights.
Excellent. Have a wonderful evening.
You as well.
All right, now walk away.
Alexander and Audra and Silas, what are you all up to?
Audra is incredibly thrilled to see her grandsire. She adores her grandsire. So the first thing that she would do is actually rush over to her grandsire, but since Calvin went first, she'll very impatiently wait her turn. This is her grandsire.
If I notice that, I'm going to say like a few extra words.
Oh.
Yeah.
But she'll wait her turn,
and then I won't, Vicky.
And then, she's gonna walk up to Amelia and she's gonna go, Grandsire, it is so wonderful to see. You look absolutely stunning.
Oh, thank you. So do you, darling. It's wonderful to see you here this evening. How's your coterie? How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you, as is the coterie. And my night has just gotten all the better for seeing you.
Well, it's wonderful to see your face. I have some business I'm attending to at the moment, but I wanted to at least take a minute to say hello. Is there something I can do specifically? I will have some open office hours here in a moment once we get through the formal proceedings for the evening, but may I help you with something?
Well, it sounds like you have your hands full. Is there anything I could help you with?
Power is not a lazy person's game. No, at the moment I think we have things handled. We're gonna have a formal welcoming to the family this evening, and so that's taking up a lot of our time, that's all.
I see. Well, if there's any way in which I can serve you, please just let me know.
Of course, I will.
Thank you. And with that, she'll walk away.
And Silas?
Who did you say that I know in there?
The Seneschal, who's Lucille Oberhofer Bruja, and somebody you've probably interacted with a good deal. Your all's domain is actually a subsection of her domain in downtown LA. So she's technically the lord over your domain and would oversee the good operations and make sure things are good, right? Like you're thinking a feudal system, right? Like you're a duke, she's a baron, and then there's the prince. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, I'm going to go over to the bookshelves and just kind of act like I'm perusing the books and try to catch her eye and bring her over to a quiet corner.
Okay. After a moment, she does seem to finish up with the prince, and she comes over and goes, "When did you learn how to read?"
Charming as ever.
Well dressed as ever.
Only had this like 50 years.
It looks nice. It seems appropriate amongst all these aged, bloodlusty folk.
Yeah, I like to make a splash, you know. So, how things been in your neck of the woods?
Busy. The sheriff is making life a living hell. You know.
Oh,
they keep.
So maybe I can help.
Maybe. They keep, you know, I hate to get straight to business with you, but...
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. It seems that they're hell-bent on creating a rift between us and the Anarchs. Which is ridiculous.
What do you suppose they take to gain Earth on Beta with a rift like that?
From what I understand, the sheriff is concerned that with the Anarchs here, the prince will not be able to formally and fully keep power in her hands in the way that the sheriff believes that she should, and that only by thinning their numbers significantly will Prince Landerhaven be able to consolidate power the way that the sheriff believes that she must. However, I think it's ridiculous, and here's why. It assumes that my dear prince is powerless, which she is obviously not. And working...
I would assume, just out of character asking, I would assume I know how old the princess is. How old are we talking here, generation?
Old. You don't know her generation. That is like... no one's like,
back, you don't
what's
even
up?
bother.
I'm sixth generation, but she exudes vampiric power. She is not from her countenance is not to be taken lightly.
All right, so this wouldn't be her first brush with a threat to her power.
No, well, I mean. We did take the city a year ago, but it just seems to me, right? It just seems to me that it's hasty, that we should be working with the Anarchs to ensure that we're all secure during the war, and if things have to happen after the war, then we deal with it then, but our safety is more important than some sort of brawl in the streets. I know this is coming from a brouhaha, but like we shouldn't be in a position where we're stepping on someone's throat, which could lead to more violence. At a time of war. That's
I just want to keep the peace for right now.
Same. It does us no good. Oh, we're gonna have a meet here in a week at the shooting club if you want to come.
Yeah, that sounds more my speed.
Just a family meeting.
I like that you consider me family.
We're of the same blood. All right. And with that, she'll excuse herself. I know the prince wants to get started, so I should go and help her and be prepared. After you. All right. And with that, Harper Dustvale, a sprightly-looking young woman, wearing kind of a simple flowered, kind of pink and white flowered dress, taps on a glass, empty, and Please, everyone, be seated. It is time for the formal proceedings for the evening.
I will take my seat.
Awesome.
I will do the same.
Is anybody not taking their seat?
No, I'm even going to take my hat off. Be polite.
Are we all sitting next to each other, or are there other people next to us?
Boy,
Are we
girl,
standing
boy,
around?
girl.
That is a great question. Is there someone specific you'd like to be sitting near?
I hadn't
I'll
been-
stick with my coterie for now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, Prince Lighterhaven takes a seat at the front of the table. Sitting next to her on the left-hand side is the seneschal, and the right-hand seat is left empty. It is where the sheriff would normally sit, but tonight no one is taking up that seat. And the prince stands once everyone has sat down. She gives a small speech to start, just emphasizing how stable things have been and how she owes it to the people in this room to ensure the future security of the masquerade within the city of Los Angeles. This is a time of war, and we know that the Inquisition is here, and we know that there are greater threats still looking for us, and it is for us to ensure the survival of our people during this time, and to do that requires the trust and work of every single person sitting in this room. And then you must act as shepherds over the rest of the kindred who have not joined us tonight, or who choose not to be a part of these proceedings. And so, she asks each of you to ensure the stability of this city, and to ensure that the masquerade be not broken, not just for your own safety, but for the safety of all the kindred within this city. And there's a light round of applause. After which, the Keeper of Elysium stands back up and goes, "We have one other formal piece of business for the evening, the formal presentation of Fiona Scaldin, childer of Hyacinth Angevin Tremere Whip." For those of you who don't know, Tremere are the blood sorcerers. They don't participate a lot in politics, just enough to remind people that they're around, but they also do magics with blood. Fiona is a middle-aged looking woman who could best be described as what a librarian looks like if they haven't slept for 4 weeks. She looks incredibly tired and incredibly hungry. But she comes up, and the prince, with a smile, welcomes her and welcomes Hyacinth, and will ask Fiona to recite the traditions, which she does. The masquerade. We must hide ourselves, lest the hunter become the hunted. Domain. The prince's domain is sacred, and it is hers to dole out for merit or reward as she sees fit. In her domain, word is law. Progeny. One may bring another kindred into the fold only with the permission of the keeper of the domain, the prince. Hospitality. Honor the domain of others and present thyself to the ruler of that domain upon entering it. And destruction. The right to bring final death upon another kindred is reserved for the prince and those that she designates. And with that, Fiona bows, backs up, and Hyacinth says, "I present to you my prince, Fiona Scaldin, my child, are now free member of the kindred of the city with your permission." Prince Landerhaven says, "You have my permission and welcome to the Camarilla, Fiona Scaldin. May you live up to its precepts and dictates. May you defend it with your life. Welcome." After a moment, there's some more light applause, and the prince will say, "That's it. I hope that was worthwhile for all of you. I'm going to hold some office hours now. If any of you would like to come, just speak with the keeper, and we'll get you in line, because I know that a number of people have business this evening. I'll be in the back alcove over there. Please don't break line. Please go talk to the keeper, and she will get you set up. Thank you." And with that, people start to kind of get up and start moving around again.
I find Flicker.
Celine.
Flicker,
Hello.
darling.
How
Nice
are
to see
my
you.
darling?
I'm good.
Good. I was very surprised that Hyacinth was given the opportunity to sire, and that the child was brought so quickly before us, but good for her, I guess.
Yes. And how are things going for you as of late?
Oh, ridiculous. Elizabeth is, of course, upset that this is happening the same night as one of her salons, but it's not a formal event, and this is. And, I feel a certain responsibility over her, and that she's not here is a bit of an insult to the prince. And that's going to fall on my shoulders. And I gotta tell you what, she seems to care more about Hollywood than she does about our august organization, when really, I feel that those should be flipped, should they not? Our power should feed into our organization. Our organization should not bleed its power out into the world beyond.
I agree.
So tell me, how are you this evening?
I am quite good. This is always fun, of course. And of course, I'm always glad to see you again.
It is a pleasure, and actually, I have a favor to ask you.
Yes, ask away.
So I'm working with Philomath. I know, scandalous, but I'm working with Philomath. So you would know that Philomath is the primogen of the Toreador, but is not super loved by the Toreador, mostly because she immediately flipped sides when the change in power happened. And so people Toreador don't really trust her. Actually, no one really trusts her. But Philip will be like, I'm working. I know, I'm working with Philomath, but like I said about Elizabeth, we believe she is gaining too much power, and that should be spread a bit more amongst the clan. The studio should not all be under one umbrella, if you understand what I mean. And she is moving in that direction quite rapidly, and I was hoping you could, knowing what you know and knowing who you know, maybe help undercut some of that influence a little bit.
Absolutely. It would be my pleasure.
And I will owe you for it as well. I will speak to the I will speak to the harpy and let her know that should this favor be given to me, I will render unto you a minor boon, a favor that you can return at any time you like. Each of you should know the boon system. The boon system is the system of favors within the Camarilla, in which it is a formal system of trading goods and services. Celine has just been asked to do something for one of her clanmates, and that clanmate has offered to give her a future boon in return for it.
Excellent. It won't be done.
Excellent. Is there anything else I may do for you this evening?
This evening, no, I'm good. Thank you.
It is always a pleasure. How is your coterie? I know you've got a couple of venture and a brouhaha in there, and you've that lovely club of yours. I keep meaning to get down there. How is it?
I busy myself with the club, mostly.
Good.
Don't let them know that. Alexander, though, interests me.
Really? It's Elizabeth's child, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they, at least from Alexander's perspective, do not agree with each other.
That could be useful.
Certainly.
Keep an eye on him. See how we may bring him closer into the fold.
That is exactly what I'm hoping to do.
Excellent.
And yes, do please make your way to the club. It is always a blast.
I promise I will at my earliest convenience. darling.
Have a good night, darling.
You as
And
well.
I will continue to mingle.
All right. What other mingling do we have this evening? Are we mingle free?
No, I have some things I want to do. I just want to make sure
Okay.
other people are good.
I would like to find people in similar roles as me. So people who keep track of history, the kindred, laws, that sort of thing. And I would like to join the conversation. I imagine I've made a little bit of myself known in terms of what I do in terms of
Sure.
chronicling. So I don't think it would be like a much more than a reintroduction of myself. So I want to kind of just like integrate myself smoothly into a conversation with them.
Absolutely. And so Dr. Cross, who is the Malkavian Primogen, is a noted Camarilla scholar and would probably be one of your, I hate to use the word kindred, but one of your fellow spirits along the path of greater knowledge of all things vampiric. And he's just kind of standing over, sipping at a glass, speaking with his whip.
I imagine that I could possibly integrate myself into the conversation. I just want to like reintroduce myself and say how much of a fan I am of this work and this study.
Thank you. I've heard you. Maybe perhaps we could share notes at some point. Should we set up a date?
Yes, that would be excellent.
Yes. Well, you know, knowledge flow freely, and so I feel that we should not closet ourselves up just because our blood is different or because maybe our specific specialties are different, but to share the knowledge, I think, is important. Yes.
I agree. I absolutely agree. When would be the best time for you?
2 nights. Hence, this is my domain, so one of the sitting rooms here would be perfect.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. My end is kind of warbly, so I didn't catch what you said.
Oh, 2 nights from now. Here, actually. This is kind of my place. Would that work for you?
2 nights from now works perfectly. Thank you.
Excellent.
I'll make sure to bring all of my notes.
For sure. What is your specific area of study?
The Convention of Thorns actually has me most interested right now.
And what a fascinating time to be studying it as well. With the tensions we're having, some of us are having with the Anarchs, I think that it would be a fascinating line of discussion and would love to hear your thoughts on it.
And I would love to hear your thoughts on the research I have.
I would love to look at it. Do you have a copy of your notes with you? Perhaps I could take it with me and study them and be more informed when we speak.
Now I have to decide if Alexander keeps his notes on him. I imagine he keeps some kind of notebook, but I don't know if there would be one small enough to fit into a suit pocket easily.
That's fair.
So he's probably going to say that he'd have to bring them at another time.
So it's LA, there are courier services. If you want to, it would be normal for a scholar to courier papers, and if you feel like you don't want to do that, that's fine. I'm just letting you know there is an option.
Oh, I could do that. Yeah, I could send it ahead of time so he can review my notes before we meet.
That would be perfect. Absolutely. I'd be very excited to read them. Great. It's Alexander, right?
Yes, Alexander Simmons. And he holds out a hand to give a firm handshake. And
Dr. Cross will hold out his hand to give you a firm shake in return. He seems perfectly convivial.
All right. After that kind of thing, Alexander's probably just going to try to merge with the crowd and get whatever kind of tidbits of information that might be lingering, but not really focusing on any one conversation in particular.
Okay. Then let's cut back to Calvin real quick.
Yep.
Yes, I wanted to go and speak with Fiona.
Yes, the newly embraced
I need to
Fiona.
know more.
Excellent. She's standing over there with her sire, Hyacinth, who is the premier whip. She looks very tired.
I go, good evening, my ladies.
No, good evening.
It's a pleasure to welcome you into our fold.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited to be here. The study has been intense, but it's finally done.
I must admit that I have no clue what you do.
I think it's better that way.
I mean, I would agree. But, yes. I'm trying to think. Is it rude to ask someone who they were before? Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are your interests besides the intensive study? I mean,
botany. I'm a botanist originally.
Excellent. Very useful skill. Poisons, medicines.
Yes. Also, splicing. Putting things together and allowing them to grow differently.
I've heard about the peas thing, but I'm not too familiar with the rest of it.
Yes, that's hundreds of years ago, but the idea is similar still, of course. It's at a smaller scale. Right?
Oh, wow.
Create new things out of two existing things.
Are you still, I imagine you're still pursuing that?
Oh, yes.
Where do you maintain a lab?
I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, excellent.
My boss would get mad at me. Yeah.
I understand. I was just saying, if you need someone to guide some financing your way.
As this is happening, just real quick, I want to break in and we can return to the conversation in just a moment. As this is happening, the other four of you notice one of the sheriff's deputies come in and speak to the sheriff, and the sheriff takes the sheriff's deputy, or speaks to the seneschal, and then the seneschal and the prince and the deputy all start talking together. Resume.
As if financing is one of my specialties.
Oh!
Yes. I do have I know a few people who work in the makeup business, but I know there's a lot of plant matter involved there as well. But I don't believe it's what you need. But,
no, makeup is not of any interest to me, but it was a pleasure to meet you, Calvin.
It was wonderful to meet you. If there's anything you need, keep me in mind.
I will do so, and very much the same. Our services, you'd have to speak to Hyacinth, of course, but if you need our services, work through her, and I'm sure that we could come to some kind of accord.
Have a wonderful evening.
You as well.
And,
Sorry.
Anyone else gonna try to listen in?
As that conversation is happening, the seneschal looks over at you, and Audra, the prince, looks over at you. And almost simultaneously, they beckon you both over.
I will go over.
Come into the alcove with us. We have to discuss something.
Of course.
And the sheriff's deputy kind of stands at the front of the alcove to block everyone else from entering. 1 second. Hang on. Just quickly, to turn down the music on your end, there is a cog in the upper right-hand corner. You click on that cog, and there's a little volume slider.
Cog?
That will show up in the thingy. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that either before.
All right, good. I feel less. I'm like, shit, I guess we're just listening to jazz while I work on this.
Oh, I can turn it down if it's too loud for you all as well.
I can't hear
I like Twitches also.
Yeah. Oh, that's deck size. You don't care about deck size. Okay. There we go. And now it should be turned down for Twitch as well. All right. So, Masterson, who is the deputy sheriff, comes in, and they kind of block off the entrance so that it's only the four of you in the alcove, and they go, "We've got a bit of a problem." This is the prince. It seems that there's been a bit of a masquerade breach.
Who dared?
Well, we're not sure. That's the thing. And the prince seems very flustered, and Lucille pipes in, look, so one of the prince's retainers was murdered out front of one of the prince's holdings, and gruesomely so. So we were hoping, as the sheriff is busy at the moment, if you could, with your August group, perhaps go check this out. And, hold off the police. From what we understand of the scene of the crime, there's not... The police are going to show up. It's just a matter of time, and I can make a couple of calls. But, Silas, I know that you are well connected within the LAPD. I know that it'll be impossible to stop them from getting there. Let's just say that. But on the other hand, buy yourself some time, see what you can find out, and hold off the cops as long as you can. This happened at a place called Cafe Gala, and the name of the man who was killed was Robert Jankowski. He is a talent representative for Paramount, and was a key retainer of the princess. As you can see, she's quite flustered about this right now. They had been working together for a long time. Turns out the murder was incredibly brutal.
Is there
Can you
anything
help?
that I can do to comfort the prince?
And you see the seneschal put her arm around the prince, and go, I will handle comforting her. If you all could get there, figure out what's going on, and clean it up if you can.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you. So Cafe Gala is on Sunset Strip, and she gives you the address. And it's actually a very well-known kind of entertainment venue for like singers and things like that, right on Sunset Strip. As you guys know, Sunset Strip is on the Rack, and the Rack is normally off limits to vampires due to the fact that it's the prince's home domain and where she and her coterie feed. And so it's a big deal that somebody was left dead there in front of one of her holdings in what is supposed to be one of the most secure places in the city. Okay, I will let you go talk to your people.
All right. So first thing I would do is ask for a phone, and I would hope it would be like one of those phones that comes on a tray.
I was literally going to say that a phone comes on a tray.
Would Silas even know what that like?
I am quietly amused. I ask one of the butlers, like, where can I find a phone?
Just a moment, so.
The phone finds me.
Yes. And about 2 minutes later, he comes back with a phone on a tray. Yeah. A golden tray. Yeah.
This is one of the nicer phones I've ever seen.
It's a very nice phone, so.
All right. So I will call, let's see, I got guys. I will call my guys.
All right. So you are going to be using your influence in order to, I would imagine you want to slow down the police response to this report. Is that correct? Okay. So you would hop on the phone, and then you would, I will give you 2 bonus dice on a, let me look at your character sheet real quick. Boink. 2 bonus dice on a wits, streetwise plus wits.
Okay. Wits. And second attribute is... Wait.
Oh, so you want to click on streetwise first.
Okay.
And then it'll have a drop down for wits.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you add 2 where it says modifier.
Gotcha.
All right, 5 successes. You've got 45 minutes before the cops show up. It is. This is, from what you understand, the cops know this has happened and are like, look, we understand you are in the special investigation business. We will give you the moment you need, but people have seen this. We're getting calls from all over the place. You got to get down there and do what you're going to do before the blues show up, okay?
Gotcha.
Good. We'll give you the time you need, but got to make it quick.
We're on the clock. We got it.
Okay. I'll throw it to you guys. What happens next?
Let's get the hell going.
Yeah.
I'll call the car.
Thank you.
All right. The car comes around. Oh, yes, go ahead.
Do you guys tell me who was killed? Do you tell me who was killed? What was the name of the guy who was killed? Talent Scout, but...
Oh.
Robert Jankowski.
Am I familiar with him? As a producer?
What is how much Hollywood influence do you have?
3.
You've heard the name, yeah. He's more attached to Paramount stuff than anything you've really worked on, but you've heard the name before, yeah.
All right, I go, we should hurry.
All right. And with that, the car comes around, and you go speeding off down Pasadena, down from Caltech onto Sunset Boulevard, and pull up in front of a murder scene. And that is where we're going to take our break. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes. Do I not have a be right? I don't have a be right back for the Camarilla on this because I'm horribly unprepared. So you're going to see we'll begin in a moment. And we'll be back in just a second. I hope everyone's enjoying a different sort of vampire tale.
Sergeant First Class Mark Wood.
Right, everyone, we are back. Welcome to the premiere of A Crusade of Thorns, Camarilla, where we're taking a bunch of new to Vampire 5e vampire players through a Camarilla Chronicle set during the turbulent period of 1943 in Los Angeles. We last found out that our coterie was asked to investigate a brutal murder on Sunset Strip of one of the prince's own retainers in front of one of the prince's own holdings. Our next scene opens as Calvin's limousine takes the coterie and parks in front of Cafe Gala. Cafe Gala is a noted sort of high-class Hollywood club during this period of time that sits on a small rise. There's a retaining wall that goes around the side of it that has these sort of planters on it that have ivy coming down. Heading up this tree-covered hill is a red velvet-covered staircase with a red, what are those things on top called? Awning covering it up, that leads up to what would be essentially a second-story entrance to this stucco and corrugated roof building. Sitting as the coterie exits their vehicle.
I'm going to tell the driver to park as obnoxiously as possible.
Proud to do it, sir. I'll do what I can. As
That'll
you step out of
last
the
30 seconds.
Yeah. As you step out of the body, you see a torso. Wearing a navy blue pinstripe jacket, a white shirt, and a black tie, sitting at the bottom of the stairs that lead up to the garden to Cafe Gala. Forming a square around the torso are 4 naked limbs, 2 arms, 2 legs, each with bloodless inscriptions carved in an unknown language into the flesh. Sitting upon the torso and facing to the left of the torso is the head of Robert Jankowski, wearing a blue fedora with a white carnation. You hear a woman crying, and you see there's a sailor standing nearby, and the doorman is trying to keep a crowd back. The doorman would recognize Calvin and Celine and Adra, probably all as either big members of the Hollywood elite or a blood member of the prince's family, and so will let you through, but is trying to really keep everybody back who's like watching this thing.
I'm gonna wave over Silas and be like, did anyone see what occurred? Anything?
You're asking me.
No, I wave you over to look at the corpse, and then I'm going to ask the.
Okay.
I should be watching.
I just got here.
So I ask you over, and then I'm going to talk to the.
I'll look at the corpse.
Yeah. So let's do the conversation, and then we'll do the corpse looking. And I'm going to ask the other three of y'all what you're doing as well. So Calvin, you're talking to the kind of bouncer. He's not really a bouncer. He's just kind of a burly footman. This is kind of a pre-bouncer, and more like I am a nicely dressed person who keeps unimportant people out of my place. Essentially a bouncer, but more classy. And he's trying to just keep the crowd back. And he goes, I turned around, man, and it was just here. It just showed up out of nowhere. The sailor dude over there, he's standing over on the wall over there, and he's just kind of waiting, and he looks nervous as sailor. He's in his dress blues, and he's got his hat off, and he's holding it in his hand, and he looks super nervous. He was the first person to see it, and he came up to me, and then I'm like, where the hell did that come from? We didn't hear a car. We didn't hear anybody running off. We didn't hear nothing.
I'm going to look over at that sailor and see if I can get something from him.
In what way? What do you mean get something from him?
Is there something wrong about him? The way he's acting is like he's a little bit scared.
Yeah, he looks freaked out.
Acting.
Yeah. Go ahead and make me a perception and...
now, do you want
perception.
insight?
God damn it.
Insight or awareness?
Insight. So this would be a wits and insight check. Insight plus wits.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Four successes.
I actually need to make a roll. Let's just do it with you. Clark O'Neill is not the name of this person. It is just a stand-in roller for this specific person. And so this would be a centrifuge.
Tell me his secrets.
Right. So he got 4 successes. You got 4 successes. There seems to be something up, but you can't put your finger on it. Either he's just flipping out because he's seen an exsanguinated body whose limbs have been cut apart, or there's something more to it. It's actually really hard to tell. Just given the amount of crap going on around you, there's like crowds starting to form up around this body. You see a flash go off from one side of the room as you're starting to look at him, and it kind of gets in your eye for a second as you're just trying to like read this dude. And so you think there might be something up, but you're not 100% sure.
Okay, I'll head over towards him while someone else looks at the body.
Okay. There's also a woman crying. Seems to be freaking out, sitting on one of the steps. And then there's the bouncer holding everyone back, and then Silas is looking at the body. What? Let's do the body. Is anybody else with Silas at the body?
Did you say there were symbols on the limbs?
I did. I said that there were symbols in an unknown language.
Second pair of eyes for that.
Okay.
I
So
will,
unknown as in I
look
couldn't even
specifically
attempt
at
to.
symbols.
One person at a time. I got 2 people talking.
Sorry,
right
I
there,
didn't.
missed it.
I didn't
Yeah.
hear Celine. Celine can go.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if I could be there to look at the symbols.
Yeah, both you and Alexander can, because I know Alexander is scholar expert, and you also have some dots in occult, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think what I would like is the 3 of you to each make a different test for me, to find some different pieces of information. So using your different levels of expertise, we'll start with Silas. I would like you to make an intelligence plus, or investigation plus intelligence check. Alexander, I would like you to make a... Where is your character sheet? Here we go. Alexander, I would like you to make a wits plus academics test, or an academics plus wits test.
Okay.
And then Celine, I would like you to make an occult plus intelligence check.
And do I have any modifiers I can use?
Do you have a specialty you think might work for this?
Let me double check. Insight lie detector. That probably isn't going to help me right there.
No, not so much.
And I can't intimidate a corpse. So let's just play it as she lays.
Okay, so a couple of things. Celine, so here's the thing. It's going to tell you the beast anytime you roll a 1 on a hunger die. The only time that's really going to matter is if you get 0 successes. If you get 0 successes and a 1 on at least one hunger die, that's going to be problematic. But it does not look like you got bestial criticals, messy criticals or bestial failures to me. So let's start with Celine. The inscriptions, you can't put your finger on it. They seem familiar, but you just... You know you've heard of these things before, but you can't tell what. And as you're looking at them, it's just like that nagging sort of itch at the back of your head, right? Where you're like, I know what this is! What is the name of that actor in that movie? Now what is the name of the movie? Ah! Right, it's that you're like this close to knowing, and you can't like quite access it. Silas. Couple of things in and around the body that seem interesting to you. You being a practiced detective, know to search pockets, to look underneath the corpse if you can for things, to maybe even look under the tongue, and as you do, you find a few things. First is a daybook. As you flip through the pages of that daybook, it says, meeting, Miramar Hotel, 1 a.m. this morning. L.A. Get to that in a second. The second is an all-black business card, and all it has on it, in silver writing, is the Moonlight Club. And going with your instinct on 4 successes, you also open the mouth, which is sitting on top of the body, by the way, so you actually have to kind of the head. There's a rose petal under the tongue. Alexander, you know that language.
I know the language.
You know that language. It is Enochian.
How do I spell that?
Enochian. It is an ancient alchemical language used by essentially the court alchemist to a king of England in the 1300s. His name was John Dee. And what it says is, I cried tears of love as I, with sharp fangs, sacrificed that which was the first part of my joy, my brother. And I'll put that in chat.
Thank you. I can't copy that fast.
No. I'm going into chat. Yeah. That is a tweet. That is not the thing that should be going into chat. Please hold. Copy. Paste. Yep, there we go.
Oh, Archer.
I cried tears of love as I, with sharp fangs, sacrificed that which was the first part of my joy, my brother.
I mean, it could rhyme.
There's still a young woman crying on the steps.
I'm actually, gonna look over at Audra and look at the woman crying.
I think that's where I'm gonna head. And just kind of, very gently, very slowly approach her. She's crying on the steps.
Yeah, she's kind of like, there are steps that lead up to up this small hill to the club, right? And she's kind of sitting on the first step. She's got a handkerchief in her hand, and she's wearing what looks like almost this sequin sort of flouncy gown, as if she's a performer, maybe?
I'm just trying to figure out, what would be the best way to kind of, approach her and comfort her. Maybe I'll just kind of start by going up to her and be like, are you all right?
It was my Robert.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh, and she's gonna come and sit next to her and kind of wrap her arms around her and go, what did you say? It was
my Robert. It's my Robert.
Robert? Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. Oh, no. Do you know what happened?
No, I was supposed to meet him here for dinner, and then we were supposed to go to a meeting later, with one of his Hollywood friends, and we were going to talk about some movies or something, and we were going to have dinner here first, and he just, I was waiting upstairs, and I heard a scream from downstairs, so I came to see what it was, and it's my Robert.
Audra's not too sure what to do other than to offer as much comfort as possible.
Well, and comfort can be had as long as yeah.
You know, kind of like, oh, they're there sort of thing. You know, but she's not quite sure what else she can do for this woman. I mean, this woman's just lost. You know, this woman clearly has no idea, and so I'm just kind of looking around going, well, okay, if this lady doesn't really know what's going on, where else can she go? She's wondering if maybe crowd control is something that might be needed. Is there anything she can do in that regard?
Yeah, I was actually going to approach the crowd when there was a chance.
Alexander, as you guys do this, I want to remind you all that you also have disciplines. And there are a couple, as you look through your list, that may come in handy here. Not everyone has one that may be handy here, but I could certainly see some uses for auspex. I could certainly see some uses for dominate or presence.
I don't think anyone needs their memory clouded right now, so I'm not technical.
So, I have Sense the Unseen. Would that be useful?
Sense the Unseen would be useful here.
All right. Should I display it, or can I just say that I'm using it?
So what it is it's essentially the ability to see shit that's hard to see, right? And because there's such a crowd and there's a commotion, you can automatically do it, and it does not require a rouse check to activate. However, because it's noisy, there's a street out in front of you, and there's kind of a crowd around that now Celine and Audra and the bouncer are all trying to kind of hold back and be like, no. And then some of them are kind of both staring at Celine and Audra because they're both incredibly attractive, and that's also super helping. I just need you to make a wits plus, or a resolve, a wits plus resolve roll.
All right.
We're outside.
There you go.
For a moment, your vision clouds. You see a tattered red velvet carpet and a black leather room with padded walls, and sitting in a chair is a naked woman. She is tied to that chair, and standing in front of her is a man, but he's not a man, he's a snake. You see these eyes and these fangs, and the eyes are the eyes of a snake, and they're yellow, and you know something horrible is about to happen. And then the premonition snaps.
Oh. Like as in happen here or elsewhere? Do I get the sense of that?
So you have an ability that I get to use at some point whenever you activate Auspex called Premonition.
Yeah.
I just used it. You can interpret that scene however you want. A black padded room, a door with a window, a woman tied to a chair, and a man who wasn't a man but a snake, staring down at her with yellow eyes and fangs and a forked tongue.
Oh no. I'm trying to think if any of that could be like symbols that I recognize, or like snakes can mean different things, and it could be a snake of a man.
This may not be a literal premonition, right?
No, I don't think so.
You could make a occult plus intelligent roll.
Okay.
Intelligence, yeah. Okay, so you got successes. So you're fine. It's not actually a bestial failure. You know of a bloodline called the Setites, who are purveyors of vice. And that's the only thing you can really... You don't know where this place is. You don't know, like, if this is even real. But the visual clues on the person, it's like a vampire with a snake tongue and snake eyes, leads you to think about a specific bloodline of vampires that you've heard of in the past, called the Setites.
Okay. Can you repeat the description one more time? So it's a windowless room or a room with a window?
So it is a black room with leather black padding on the sides, faded red velvet carpet, a chair. There's a naked woman tied to it. There's a man fitting that description with the yellow eyes and the tongue and the fangs. And there's a single diamond window that looks into the room from the door.
Okay. I want to... So Celine went into the crowd, right?
I was going to go that way.
Or going to.
Yeah.
I want to
catch
her
go
before
ahead.
she goes.
Okay, you can do that. Absolutely.
I want to ask her, because I do know that she knows a little bit about the occult, right? We would have been familiar enough that I have a sense of that. I asked her if the Setites mean anything to her.
You should feel free to make the same roll.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. They're not a bloodline. They're a clan. They're a legit clan. They're an independent clan that isn't allied to anyone, and they can be problematic because wherever they go, they tend to bring corruption. Not like demonic corruption, but like the worst kinds of vice with them. And they have their own powers that are different than the normal ones too, that allow them to kind of like take on aspects of a serpent.
Yes, they're an independent clan. Why?
I have a suspicion that we might be dealing with them. Either directly or indirectly. I'm not sure. I'm going to... I don't think I've told anyone about the inscription.
No.
So I'm going to share that with Celine and probably Silas, anybody who's close by. I don't want it to go too far, so I don't want to talk very loudly. And so I'm just basically going to point to the inscriptions and say what...
Body huddle, everyone.
And then I'm going to share... I'm going to share the premonition, but again, I don't want it to be too loud, so it's basically like huddling and saying, this is the information that I gleaned from it.
All right. I'm just going to pull out that all-black card and think about whether this could tie in.
Do I know anything about the Moonlight Club?
No. Nope, you have not heard of it.
Can I briefly talk to the woman and then the gentleman?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to say to the woman, "I'm sorry, miss. What was the reservation name under here?"
It was under Robert's name.
Excellent, thank you. And you have no idea who you're supposed to be meeting with later tonight?
No. He said it was at the Miramar Hotel. Some famous lady who helps make movies.
I help make movies as well. Were you an actress?
Oh, I'm a singer.
I hand her my card and I look over at the gentleman.
At the sailor?
At At the sailor,
Audra-
yes.
Okay.
Audra wants to take pity on this poor woman and like usher her somewhere else. Like, give the girl a chair for God's sake and get her inside.
All right,
Damn.
I'm going to use mesmerize
On the dude.
on the dude. So,
Okay. So let's check out mesmerize real quick.
all right, one
Alright.
here. I'll throw
That
it
is
in.
okay. Thank you. Yeah. One. So start by making me a rouse check.
Rousing
so
success.
You do not take an extra level of thing, and so let's take a look at dominate real quick. So that is dominate 3.
It's mesmerize.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dominate 2.
Dominate 2. Why am I in celerity? What's going on there? There we go. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and make me that dominate plus manipulation roll?
Okay. I should have been getting that ready.
That's okay.
Oh, it's under the power. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
3 successes.
Okay, and then
He does not get to resist unless he was ready for it. If he was mortal.
if he's mortal, he does not get to resist. That is correct. Composure, so 5 dice. Okay. You lock eyes with him, and you feel your will overtake his for just a moment. But he is giving you more resistance than you would expect from a mortal.
Stand here. Tell me what happened. Tell me what you didn't. Tell me who you are.
I saw a dead body. I told the bouncer. I waited for the police.
And who are you?
My name is Rana.
Where are you from?
I am from Indonesia. He looks like a Caucasian man.
I'm going to wave over at Silas.
And
Okay.
that is about all you get out of the mesmerize, right? Because the
Yeah.
vampire can issue. Yeah. And
I'm actually going to step back from him if I can.
yes, as you do, he turns and he's gone. Using
Bitch.
a high level of celerity. Well, a medium high level of celerity.
That explains a lot. All right.
Or a medium high level of a power that, at least at the very least, could resemble celerity.
Faster than a human should be able to move.
Yes, he is definitely moving faster than a human should be able to.
I think everyone saw that. Oh, Silas, can you chase him? No? No?
I could, but I'm kind of busy here.
Okay.
Hi.
He was your guy.
Audra, do you want to try and chase?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Be careful.
Let's
Not
do this
too-
thing. So you're going to
What do
make a contested athletics plus dexterity, adding any levels of celerity that you have to it.
I don't
Versus
think
this person's athletics plus celerity, adding any levels of.
Okay. Athletics plus what?
Athletics plus dexterity,
Dexterity.
adding any levels of celerity you might have.
I don't, so it's
Okay.
going to be dexterity at this point.
Okay.
And hopefully I just did that right.
You did. For a moment, you feel like you're going to keep up with him, but then he puts on the speed, and you just lose him.
I tried.
Yeah, you're sure there's something supernatural going on with that guy.
Mhm. I guess I'll head back and report back that I was unsuccessful and that
Shit.
that's, you know.
Thank you for trying.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Is there anything else we can get from here, or should we? I just want to head upstairs real quick.
I'll ask you, Do you have any access to the Miramar Hotel?
It's a hotel. I mean,
Well, there's access and there's access.
Alexander has access.
Oh,
I have access.
is the Miramar Hotel in Lisbeth's territory?
It is where Elizabeth lives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! I should have known
that'd
that.
do it.
Yeah.
So I can pass that information along.
Interesting night. And can I head up to the maitre d' real quick?
You may. One quick note, Silas. The meeting at 1 a.m. tonight in the daybook was L.A. Miramar Hotel. just so you know. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go talk to the gentleman at the door and see. Is there a reservation for Robert and his last name?
Yes, there was.
Is the reservation for 2 or 3?
It was for, hang on. Flip. It was for 2.
Does that track with what she said? They were going to get dinner.
And then go to meet.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if there was going to be a third person here or not. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, there was only supposed to be the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I slip him a buck.
Nice. Yeah, that's like $10 in today money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Thank you, sir.
Oh, my name is Calvin Redden. Next time I call.
Oh, I recognize you. You've been in here with the prince before, yes? Well, he wouldn't say prince. Sorry. You've been in here with the owner before, haven't you?
You have an excellent memory.
It's my job.
And you're going to keep it. All right. All right, I'm going to walk away and let's get in the car before the police get here.
Okay.
We were told to clean this up. I'm wondering what else we can do because this is a mess. There's a crowd outside that's clamoring to get
Before
in.
we leave, can I disband the crowd?
Yes, how would you like to try and do that?
I will talk to them, and I will use my
Hey,
my
fellas.
present.
Aww.
There we go.
All right, so presence 1. Yes, it is. So just really quickly, make me a manipulation plus presence roll.
Okay.
Now the body's still laying there, and there's still 3 witnesses hanging out. So I don't know how cleaned up. That's not the only thing that would need to happen to clean it up.
There's 2 witnesses now, right?
Oh yeah, there's only 2. Yes,
Sure.
you chased one off. Aww.
Yeah, I'm not going to wipe her memory.
I think. Right on. You do what you think is best.
There we go.
All right, 3 successes is great. The crowd, which was all trying to like look over at the body between Audra and Alexandra were talking, and then Silas was over there a little bit, and Celine was trying to keep them back, and then boop, the power comes on, and they all just kind of like lemmings turn their head towards you, Celine.
Please, folks, we need you to know that everything is being handled. The police are on their way, but you need to give them their space to do their job. So if we could ask you to please orderly leave the area, that would be very helpful.
Make a manipulation plus persuasion test.
And do I get
And
to
add your presence dots. Yeah. There is a set difficulty for this, just because, there's a lot of them, and one of you.
And then just add a 2 to the modifier to get...
Yeah, if you have 2 dots in presence, add 2. Okay. You get about 2/3 of the crowd to kind of disperse. Some of them just kind of go hang out across the street. There's a few lingerers, but it's definitely not like the crush it was before. Absolutely. And Audra, you were wanting to do some stuff here as well.
Well, I obviously want to carry out my prince's request as best as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out what else I can do. I can't exactly move the body. Unfortunately, I don't think that would be a good idea with the LAPD on their way.
So you've got the bouncer? So it depends on what your intent is, right? They were the Prince and the Seneschal were both notably unclear about what clean this up meant. They seemed a little shaken at the time. So I think there is room for interpretation on how you would like to handle the cleaning up now that you have investigated. You have about 5 minutes, you think, before the cops are supposed to be here. So if something is going to happen, it's going to happen.
I turn to Silas and I ask him, Silas, your opinion. Does the LAPD need to see this?
I'm of two minds. On the one hand, if you can grab a couple of these legs, I can get the rest into a trunk in 4 minutes. But my feeling is this can of worms is already open. He's a noted public figure, and this isn't exactly a quiet alleyway.
No, it is not.
They're already on their way, so we probably best not be here. We took everything important. They are not going to follow any breadcrumbs. And I can check in on the investigation in the morning.
Okay. Thork, is there anything that we would be able to do to kind of, I don't know, make the whole thing look less...
grisly?
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
the obviously...
the head closer to the shoulders.
So, the obviously supernatural bits are the limbs, right? The body has been completely exsanguinated. There's no blood anywhere near here. It's almost as if this was drained completely dry by one of you before it was brought here, right?
Oh.
But the limbs are detached and have some sort of mystical stuff carved in them.
Guess we gotta take some limbs.
That's what
Everybody
I'm
grab one and throw it in the trunk.
Lend me some hands.
No, no. I was trying so hard to be serious, okay? But yes, let's grab limbs.
All right. Cleaning up the limbs, as you do, you begin to hear sirens coming up from Beverly Hills up the Sunset Strip as you make your way into the limousine and drive off from this place.
I think we have a meeting at 1:00. Oh, what do you tell me about the book? That's the thing. You might not tell me everything. What information do we have? Let's pool our resources.
If we're in the limousine, I can just share everything openly.
That is true.
All right, because I wasn't hearing most of what you guys were saying. All right, so that man was a Sedite. Are the Sedites popular in Indonesia? Does anyone know? That's fine. We can ask. All right. Does anyone know where the Moon Club is? There's no address on the... Yeah, the Moonlight Club. There's no address.
Moonlight Club, all black, no address. Anybody?
That's not another one of Elizabeth's things that I would be aware of, is it?
Not that you're aware of, no.
Okay.
All right. I think...
we could make it easier on ourselves if anybody knows any, like, vampire serial killers who stick rose petals under their victims' tongues. Anybody?
I will actually... I know some vampire history, don't I?
You do, absolutely.
I know Camarilla law. This wouldn't have anything to do with that.
You could make a history plus intelligence check. I think.
I'm sorry, there is no history.
Sorry. It's what is it? It's
academics or politics.
It's which one do you have the specialty in Camarilla law in? Politics?
Politics.
Yeah, go ahead and make an intelligence plus politics, adding an extra die for your Camarilla lore. I should really just have like a list of the skills next to me. Because it'll be like, make a perception check because D&D 5e.
Yeah, I do the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see. 3 successes.
3 successes is good. Go ahead.
Nothing. I think a moment about the symbolism.
So, it's not specifically Camarilla related, but there is large parts of the Camarilla are based on biblical thought, right? There's a translation of the story of Cain and Abel in which, after Cain was killed, or after Abel was killed, Cain put a single petal, it wasn't a rose, but a single petal, underneath the tongue to signify Cain's transition. And the rose is the symbol of the Toreador.
Someone's trying to ascend? I tell all this to Alexander, who might have a better grasp on such knowledges.
Tie in with that verse that was on his arms.
Yeah, so I can give the information of the inscription, which
So, did Robert have a brother, or is it figurative? We don't know. We can't say. Ask the world.
I'm probably can assume that it's figurative, unless we would know that this famous person had relations.
See, he wasn't famous. He worked with famous people. Speaking of which,
true.
Can I see his day planner real quick? And I'm going to look through it, looking for contact information and dates about meetings and such.
Oh, you get you get a ton of information about who he was going to meet in the future. In fact, using his day planner, you could probably pirate some of those future meetings for production stuffs.
Because I know they're free at that time.
You know they are free at that time, and may be able to snag an extra script or two for your studio instead of Paramount.
I will absolutely do that. I hand it back to Silas. I say, thank you. Business. But you know who we need to talk to. Alexander, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
I believe Elizabeth's last name starts with an A.
You would be correct.
And she is a star maker. I've worked with her to get people in movies before. She's the exact kind of person that girl would want to be meeting.
And she lives at where they were meeting, so it makes sense that he was meeting her.
Well, should we take a 1 a.m. meeting?
It's already on the books.
I'm going to show up. Would you like to join me?
I suppose. It might be worthwhile.
All right. And I give the driver the address.
Yes, and it's getting on. So you've got a little bit of time. If there's anything else you all want to accomplish before you get there, you've got essentially 4 leads in front of you at this point. You got the Midnight Club, you've got the Rose, you've got the inscriptions, and then you've got the meeting.
We don't have time to find Hyacinth or Fiora. I will make a note that I want to see if they know anything about this Rose later. I say that out loud.
Fascinating. I like it.
Botanists.
Yeah, right?
It's a rare rose from Indonesia, hopefully.
Right. Okay. Just you mentioned the inscription before, Alexander, and Celine and Alexander both. I would like you to make your relative occult and academics checks. The intelligence plus academics and wits. I'm sorry, intelligence plus occult and wits plus academics. As you guys are heading over and just kind of cogitating on this stuff.
So it's academics plus wits? Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, our first messy critical of the night has just been achieved. Celine.
Yay!
With 5 successes, so Celine's gonna get this one. For a moment, in your studies and in your travels through both Europe and the United States, you have come across a sect called the Nodists. They worship Cain as many people believe that Cain is the founder of the vampiric line. That he was the first of the vampires, and in his destruction of Abel, his brother, he was cursed with vampirism, and so would be the first of the vampires. Those who are Nodists study and believe in him almost religiously. The problem is this takes you back to a specific moment in your history. The last time you encountered a Nodist was when a certain loved one of yours passed away. And in your rage, and in your anger at realizing this, you put 2 and 2 together and you brought mind, body, and soul back to that moment. And you put your fist directly through the door, knocking it off the car. And you all see this happen as just there's, for a moment, this flash of inspiration in Celine's eyes. Then her fangs come out, and just in this immense moment of anger, there's this poof, and the door flies off, hits a car on the other side of the road, which goes swerving off, and it hits a fire hydrant, and water starts spouting up, and then you feel this rush of acceleration as the driver goes, nope,
Don't stop. Go.
Yeah.
What the hell was that? Celine.
It comes from a book called the Book of Nod.
N-O-D. Okay. I was thinking K-N-O-D.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That was the past. Nodis.
Is that some, like, sleepers? I don't understand.
No, they worship Cain.
Alexander, as soon as she says that, you're like, yes, that's it. And then you're like, there are existing books of Nod somewhere. You're not sure where, but you know that these texts exist.
Of course. We were in the library earlier tonight, but now we need everyone who was there. All right, we need to get a new car. We can't drive around with a suicide door. Literally.
I mean,
Top still down.
not the plan.
Wait, is the... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the top is still down, right?
Then we're
Yeah, top's
rapidly having less car than more here.
I feel more conspicuous than I feel we can afford right now. Rona got away.
Hats back on.
Rona got away, so that means they're probably running. Or getting in contact, and they probably know who we are. Gonna need a minute to think. All right. Does anyone have any idea what we should do next? We've got about an hour before we need to get to the meeting. I think we should surprise Lisbeth in the hotel room. If Lisbeth does not show, that teaches us something.
If we have an hour, do we have time to swing by my contact, John Banks?
Remind me of John Banks real quick.
He's also a talent scout.
Oh, yeah.
He is the... Yeah, he's also a talent scout. He claims he's from New York.
Yeah.
I don't
if
personally
he's
like
awake.
him that much, but
Right.
he tends to help me figure out who should be coming to the club.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
We have a singer he might be interested in, and I have her information.
You absolutely could, if he is awake, stop and make a phone call from one of the many phone booths.
That's right. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. And they cost a nickel.
LA 431.
Yes, I have a contact that I can get a hold of. See if we can't
Do
get
it.
some more information.
Give him a call.
All right, yeah. I'm assuming we'll pull over and I will give him a call.
This should give your man enough time to pull back around with a fresh car, right?
Have another one sent, yes.
Yeah, I might need to use a phone for that, boss. We're going to have to wait here for a second.
Well, it's a good thing we're looking for phones.
And bring the nice one this time.
This was a nice one, sir, but I can try and find another one for us. I'll call the lot, and perhaps they have something that can help us out. See? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sitting up front with him next time.
You make your call, and on the other end is your contact. Yeah, this is John.
John, it's Celine.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Celine?
I'm good. I
Good.
need to know about a potential
Kinda
friend
late.
of yours.
Oh.
Jeez, what was his name?
Robert.
Jankowski.
Jankowski. And Robert Jankowski.
I kind of know the name. Refresh me.
Town Scout. Paramount, I believe.
Paramount. Yeah, he's one of their talent acquisition guys. Yeah. What about him?
Well, he was found dead.
Are any of his contacts free?
Might
I mean,
be
that's
able to
horrible.
Might be able to slide a few your way. I know of a singer off the top of my head that could definitely be sent your way. But
I do need
to
some new
know-
vocal talent. She good with her mouth?
John, focus.
I'm focused. Sorry.
What, do you know if he had any enemies around town? Anybody we should be talking to?
Oh, see if he had a brother.
Well, I know he was poached from RKO, but RKO poached him from MGM. And before MGM, I'm not sure where he worked. He may have been out in New York before that, but I know he's made the rounds around the bigger studios. And so he's probably made a few enemies here and there along the way. I don't know if he has a brother or not, though. He never mentioned it to me. We've been to the club a few times to see him, go golfing, and well, apparently not anymore.
Yes.
He's got a noticeable handicap now, so.
He has a handicap of 2.
All right, John. If you hear anything, you make sure you slide that information to me, and I will
I
make
definitely
sure to
will.
slide some of his contacts your way.
Well, that would be much obliged, and if you happen to see his wife, give her my condolences.
Absolutely. And I hang up and just. Alright, well, Celine might have some enemies around town. He worked he was poached and poached again from many of the major studios.
Mm-hmm. All information is good information.
He did say something odd that sticks in your brain. Give your condolences to his wife, Celine.
Okay. Oh, he said something about giving condolences to his wife.
I'm taking it he didn't have a wedding ring on, did he?
Well,
We can check. We do have his hands.
That is true. Is there an indentation on his hands where a wedding ring would be?
In fact, there is, and there is no wedding ring there.
Well, he's a cheater.
That was a girlfriend.
He wouldn't be the first guy in LA.
Cheater
I'm not
trophy.
surprised.
But its absence is notable. Wedding ring missing.
Well, by the time the police are done with his body, the first thing they're going to do is notify his wife if there is one. So I can check in on that later.
If there still is one, I think it would make sense if you took them both, husband and wife. You said you had a vision of someone in a chair?
Yes, being overlooked by a man that was actually a snake.
Well, I was talking to a man from Indonesia with the palest skin, so things are up for grabs right now. I don't know. We should try to find her. Is there any club that has, like, diamond windows specifically?
It's a common feature at this point in time.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Unfortunately, you didn't see through the window, I take it?
I took it as I was looking through that window into a room, but I could also be misunderstanding that.
Your gifts are fantastic.
At best.
Got us more than we had. Now, I don't know what else to do except talk to Elizabeth.
It's the one thread we can pull right now.
I'll say, what are the other threads, just to keep them fresh in mind? The Moonlight Club, the Enochian language, the followers of Set.
The Rose Petal.
The Rose Petal and the Nodists. Yeah, we're not going to make it to the meeting if we go over to the LA Observatory, or the Observatory, the MIT, not MIT, Caltech. So let's go to the hotel.
All right. You make your way down to the Miramar Hotel. It is one of the poshest hotels on the shore. I'm going to actually pull up a map to show you all where you are. We do not have map screens for this because there's no real combat, so this is, I will be sharing, actually, the domains of LA map with everyone at some point. You all are headed down to Santa Monica. Santa Monica is one of the poshest parts of the North Beaches of LA, and overlooking the Santa Monica Yacht Club and the Santa Monica Pier is the Miramar Hotel. It is known as a playground of the stars. It has a single large building inside of a gated-off garden area with a number of bungalows and pools surrounding it. It is... showing it to you now. Boink! Actually, that did not show it to you. That just moved thingy up. This is just a little outline of it. A period picture of the Miramar Hotel, which is an 8-story building with a number of bungalows on a courtyard outside, right above the cliffs overlooking the Pacific Ocean.
For maximum privacy.
For maximum privacy, join us at the Miramar Hotel, where no one will see you do awful things to innocent people.
Oh, and also there might be vampires. Yes.
Oh, P.S. Vampires.
And that's just the mortals. Yeah, we was the meeting, was it in a bungalow or in a hotel room?
Just said L.A. Although, Alexander, you are relatively sure that if anybody's meeting Elizabeth Afianza in her own hotel, it's going to be in her penthouse.
Yeah, I will say that much. I imagine she would be meeting them in the penthouse.
Oh boy.
So, we might have some issues getting up there, but
We won't have issues getting up there. I just don't feel like jumping off any buildings today.
So dramatic.
That's the business. Silas, are you armed?
Always.
Good.
You pull up to the wrought iron gates in front of the Miramar Hotel. It's a big golden M and H in a circle on top of these double barred gates. The car stops and the gates open for you, of course. It's after hours, but you are driving a mostly very nice vehicle, and you are all very well dressed. And so in you go, pulling in front of the hotel itself. A bellhop comes out and goes, "How long will you be staying for?"
We're here for a show and entertainment. We won't be staying.
Oh, okay. Well, the bar is inside and down to the left. We can have your car.
I'm
taken care of for you.
familiar. And I walk past him.
Bloody rich people.
I don't know how I decide to be rude to some people and nice to others. I don't know how. It's just what my mood is at the moment.
You make your way in and you are confronted with opulence. This is a polished marble floor with pillars rising up the first 2 floors, high bay windows looking out over the Pacific Ocean and the bungalows in front of the building itself. It is golden chandeliers and filigreed shields up in the corners of the walls, and light jazz is playing from a piano off to one side that a few people are listening to, having drinks. There is at the rich mahogany desk at the front you're welcome. Yeah. There are 2 hoteliers standing there waiting for whoever may approach.
I'm going to walk up first. And I've been to Elizabeth's before, I believe.
Yeah, you've been there. Celine's been there. Alexander's definitely been there. Yeah, so the 3 of you... Yeah,
we're
probably
have
the most experience.
Shouldn't stop us.
Yeah. Yeah. Excuse me, sir, madam, sir, madam, sir.
I think he's talking to one of you.
Yes.
Do you have a reservation?
I have an appointment upstairs. I'm expected.
By whom?
I'm expected in the penthouse.
And your name is?
I give him Robert Jankowski.
The lady of the penthouse takes the security very seriously. Do you have your driver's license on you?
I don't drive myself.
Do you have anything?
Did you grab his wallet, by the way?
Oh, no.
No, you didn't grab his wallet? I mean, we have his legs, but we didn't get his pants. So
I dug through everything, so I assume if there was a wallet to grab or a billfold of some kind.
I will allow you to have... Yes, we can retcon that there was indeed a wallet. I just forgot to mention it.
It's cool.
It didn't have the clue glow about it, but it is now relevant. So yes, it absolutely had a billfold.
I walk up and just hand it into you. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to look through for something that says the name but doesn't have his picture on it, like a union card or something like
A
that.
library card will do the job.
Yeah, well, and even at this point in time, driver's license didn't have photos on them, so you see a driver's license in there. Yeah.
I'll hand it to him.
Let me check the books real quick. I'd say this meeting was for 2. There were all 5 of you.
Yeah, where is +1?
Let me call up to the suite. Please hold.
That won't... Listen, we're just going to head up. I look over, and I want to have, like, a mental conversation. Looking at each of you being like, if one of you speaks, like, I'm trying to get across, like, who's coming with me? Nobody? Okay. Go ahead, go on.
Are we all going up as a bundle, or do you want us to stuff us to wait in the lobby?
Before you said the reservation was for 2. We were under a different impression. Please excuse us a moment.
Why can't you just clear this up by calling the lady?
Yes, go right ahead and do that.
Excellent. Yes, hello, ma'am. Your 1 a.m. is here. It is Robert Jankowski and +1. The only thing is it's a +4. Who else is with them? Who else is with you, sir?
I give the name of the girl who was crying.
Me. It was Dahlia. No, not Dahlia. That would be incorrect.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah. I point
Darla,
at.
yeah.
I point at. No, Darla was the girl I fed from earlier.
Oh, that's right. We didn't give her a name. She is.
Yeah, we did.
Sad
Miriam.
performer wishing at a dream. Miriam. There we go. Miriam's a great name.
So I pointed out at Celine and I go, Miriam, Darla, and I give Darla's name. And I wait for the other 2 to give me,
False names?
I give the name of the driver and point at Alexander.
The driver's name is Bruce.
Bruce.
Yeah. McIntyre. FBI. Not actually FBI.
I know. That would be very bad for us.
That would be incredibly bad for you. Yeah.
And I'm just going to give... I'm so tempted to just give Silas's name.
Go for it.
Yeah, I give Silas's name. Assuming that Lisbeth would not remember that.
And he gives all the names, and then he listens. And then he kind of holds the phone away for a second. You hear some shouting. And then he puts it back. Yes, ma'am. She'll be right down.
Thank you.
Really wanted to see that penthouse.
Miriam, would you like to go grab a drink? And maybe come back once the lady gets down here? I'm going to move next to... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Bruce Alexander. I'm going to move over to Alexander and be like, go sit by the bar. If she comes out and sees you, this will go much, much worse.
I agree, and I'm going to go and sit by the bar.
Okay.
Feel free to find your dramatic moment to come back.
And after a few moments, what Marilyn Monroe wished she looked like comes walking out of the elevator. This human being is a definition of beauty for the 1940s and holds that power in them deeply, knows it, projects it, and you feel it wash over you as Elizabeth Afianza, the siren of Santa Monica, walks up to you and goes, I know who you are, and you're not that person. Calvin, Sabine,
Elizabeth?
Audra, and who are you, and why are you not dressed appropriately for this place? Silas.
This is my security. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well... Oh, it talks. Excellent. Anyways, I am wondering why you're here, and why you're not Robert.
Well, here's the thing about Robert. Can I give an insight to see if she's still expecting Robert?
Yeah, absolutely.
Insight wits, maybe?
Yeah, wits plus, insight plus wits.
Insight and wits. 1 success.
It's hard to know.
Yeah, she's good at this.
She's good at this. Yeah, this is where she eats.
I needed to find out some things, and I needed to see what you knew. And I wanted to say hello. I have bad news.
Is
You're
it
one I am
that,
not going to make it.
is the bad news that my child is here?
No. That is also
Good.
true, though.
Well, I know she runs with you, see.
Yes.
Or he runs with you, apologies. I know he runs with you, you see.
Yes, I did not want to aggravate or alarm you, so I...
Is Alexander here?
Perhaps.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Now, were you expecting Robert still?
Oh, I was.
What were you going to do?
Oh, we were just going to talk business, and I'm very confused as why you're here in his stead.
Because he's dead. Violently and publicly dead.
Well, that is a damn shame.
Should we have this conversation very loudly in the lobby?
Absolutely not. Please, come up to my penthouse and bring my child.
As you wish, Lisbeth.
I'll go fetch him.
No.
This is going to be a fun elevator ride.
Oh, you're not riding with me. You're going to take the other elevator.
No, I know.
Okay, good.
That also will not be a fun elevator ride.
Excellent.
Well, I take a tray of martinis from a passing waiter and bring them with us. So
Excellent.
I assume it's going to be a long elevator ride.
Yes. Gathering together, Elizabeth having already gone up in her private elevator to the penthouse, you all, one of the hoteliers comes with you, puts a key into one of the the highest button on the elevator pad, clicks it, and steps out before the door closes, and the elevator rises. And there, sitting now in her home, a place of equal opulence to the foyer, is Elizabeth Affianza lounging on a couch. She says, "Please, come in, my darlings."
Thank you, Elizabeth. It's been a while. How have you been?
Good, business is good. Alexander, my boy, it's so good to see you. I see you haven't learned to dress yourself yet.
I'm afraid not, my sire.
We really must work on that. Your couture. Elizabeth Arden has a friend who makes suits. Perhaps he could be of some service to you. I know Liz very closely. She is a friend, and any friend of hers is a friend of mine because I tell her so. So why don't you take this number and get yourself presentable?
As you wish.
Are you still fiddling with those books?
Always.
Calvin. Celine, you look gorgeous. Audra. How is the prince? I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
Prince as well, thank you.
Next time you see her, give her my apologies for not being able to make it to her Elysium.
Of course.
Of course. So, my friend Robert is dead. Passed
Yes.
away.
So what were you working on with Paramount?
A new movie. Yes.
Sorry.
You know, of course. No, it's called The Constant Nymph. It's gonna begin, it's actually going to be worked through, Warner Brothers, you see. Robert was, moonlighting.
I heard he was much of a game player as any Hollywood man.
Yes, he,
About as faithful to his company as he was his wife.
Oh, it's... When you get to a certain level of power, you take what you want. You well know that, Calvin.
I
My
do.
boy. Yes, we were, oh, I'm sorry, he was not working at Warner Brothers. He was working at Paramount, that is correct. I had the wrong note up there.
Okay. But we still know that he was a mostly free agent.
He was
Or
a mostly free agent, indeed.
Thought
Yes.
about himself as a free agent.
Yes.
Does he, you talk to people, you know how to talk to people, especially these mortals
Of
where
course.
they tell you way more than they expected. Did he have a brother?
Not that I can recall.
Who is his wife? Are you familiar? Have you ever had drinks with the two of them?
Oh, I know he had a wife. I don't, I've never met her. When he came here, he would normally come alone, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure alone is a relative term here.
Oh, no, we're quite alone right now.
You know how to fluster me. So, he's dead. Be careful.
You said he was dead. I don't. Can you give me more information than that?
He was. Let's see. You know how most people are a single unit of person? He ceased to be that.
I don't think I catch our meeting.
He was dismembered.
Oh.
And placed rather horrifically at the feet of one of the prince's establishments.
Well, that's awful for the prince, isn't it?
Yes, it's terrible.
Oh, a breach. That seems like quite the breach of the masquerade that she'll have to clean up.
Yes. Now, I'm sure some would love to point fingers at who did it, and might be pointing towards the beach.
Think I would kill one of my own retainers. To get one up on the prince?
I think you'd sacrifice a pawn. I just don't see what you would gain from this one.
Well, let's play the game, shall we?
Let's.
Toreador. Don't have a super love for the prince, being that she kicked our prince out. Wants to make the prince look bad. Does so by dismembering one of their own to make it not look like them.
No, that's a bit too far.
We're kindred. You think that's too far?
I think that's not good enough. Whoever did this did it with flair, but they also did it with hate.
Interesting. Well, I can tell you it wasn't me. Although it seems like someone wants it to be me. Looking at Alexander.
I also look around and be like, you have a fantastic position here.
I have many fantastic positions, darling.
To envy. Positions to envy.
Yes. I've been told so. By men and women alike.
Do you ever go by moonlight?
Do I? I'm sorry, what? Every night when there is a moon, I go places by moonlight. Yes, of course, dear. What are you getting at? I pull
up the card.
Well, yes. There's this.
Oh?
I could tell you what this is.
You should.
You will have to do something for me first. This is not information you should have.
I do have about 20 minutes.
Until?
I'm just kidding.
As you know, I'm working on a new movie called Double Indemnity. Billy Wilde is going to write it and direct it, and Barbara Stanwyck's in it, and we're looking for a new leading man. The only problem is, our current leading man is tied up in another project.
Is it the war?
It is not the war. Anybody with half a bit of brain knows how to get out of that. Philomath, God bless her soul, seems to think that I have too much power and is attempting to hold some of my assets back from me, you see. And I need this specific actor to act alongside the gorgeous Barbara Stanwyck. Oh, she's such a peach, you should meet her. She's amazing. Thing is, this specific actor, you
should send her by the club sometime.
Oh, absolutely not. Don't even pretend to assume that I would ever let any of my people near you, but I love you for trying. Darling. However, here's what you can do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Should this specific production of Philomaths incur additional insurance costs that would force it to end production, and by the way, it is at Warner Brothers Theater in Burbank. If you can find a way to ensure that production does not move forward, preferably with a bang, I will give you this information, and we will be square.
I'm not going to promise you anything right now.
Then I'm not going to give you anything right now.
You weren't going to do that either way.
Had you said yes, I may have.
Darling. Who's the actor?
I told you don't need to worry your little head about who the actor is.
You know I'm better at contracts.
Oh, I'm sure you think you are. That's lovely, darling. It's lovely that you think that. It's that ventru verve that I love in you, and it's so wonderful to see that you have such faith for such a young member of our society. And, do this thing for me. And you all feel this wave of presence wash over you. Let me look at something really quick.
Roll against it.
You may be able to, yes. Checking. Please hold. Yes, everyone is allowed to make a composure plus resolve roll.
Do I just click the composure button?
Oh, God.
Oh, how exciting.
I think we just broke the game. I think I'm going to have to jump out of the building.
Oh, no! I might throw someone out of the building. Who knows?
Okay. So, did everybody make their rolls? Silas, Celine, Calvin, Audra. This is the most amazing woman you've ever sat in front of.
Can I spend a willpower?
You may spend a willpower to reroll up to 3 dice that you failed to get a success.
Is there something specific about mind control that you can spend willpower about?
It is not mind control. It is presence.
It's presence.
Force of
different.
will. Yeah. Yes.
All right, then never mind.
Yes.
Got it.
She has the thing. Yes. The four of you feel this. You are in the presence of vampiric royalty. And to deny her this request, when you know that something will be fairly given in return, it feels like it would break your unbeating heart. But Alexander, in a perfect story moment, feels this oppressive weight of emotional bullshit that you have felt time and time again from your sire, who continues to attempt to manipulate you, and you lash out. And that is where we're going to end the story for today.
Oh, no!
Thank you. Perfect. I love it.
All right. So, that was fun. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Crusade of Thorns, Camarilla, the premiere, with a bunch of people who haven't either played Vampire in a long time or have never played Vampire before. So today was built to get a feeling for some of the mechanics of the game, to kind of learn how to navigate some of the different situations you could be in as a member of the Camarilla. And so I would like to go around. I am going to take a page from my dear co-storyteller, Zed, and I would love to know what you thought. And your pluses and deltas for the evening. Your pluses and minuses. And we'll start with Celine.
This was great. It was fun. It did a lot today. It was fun. I'm excited to talk to Alexander after this. It was a lot of fun. I like it. I'm already enjoying this. It has lived up to the hype.
Yay! Any pluses or minuses? Any thoughts about the system or anything like that? Is your first time playing it?
You know, I really like the hunger dice. That was fun. That was interesting.
That takes it places.
Yeah, it really does. And like the whole narrative aspect of it, I absolutely loved. And it ended us on a perfect spot tonight. Yeah. Cool. And where can we find you on the internet?
On the internet, you can find me usually right here. Wednesdays, Thursdays, I play in the Pokemon game, which is tomorrow. I also play in the alternating game, Shadowrun, where I usually roll really bad dice and fuck up a perfectly good situation. And soon I will be starting a mask game. Yes, I'm excited. Nice little campaign. 9:30 p.m. EST. A little later than I normally run games, but I'm excited. That'll be Mondays starting soon. Hopefully.
Yes.
Then other than that, you can find me on Twitter at NerdyTeddy.
Awesome. Thank you so much again. Let's do Leona next.
Oh goodness, where do I start? Hi, I'm Leona. You can find me on the internet, mostly on Twitter at the Lady Bedlam. This was a lot of fun. This was a lot. I'm very new to tabletop RPGs, so I think I feel like a bit of a tiny bit more than I can chew choosing Vampire as my first game, but I love it. It's just a lot of fun being able to dive deep and to go into this. So I'm just having fun seeing where this goes.
Awesome. And we're going to see you on another stream soon. Is that correct?
Am I forgetting something?
Oh, I thought we were. I thought you were hopping into something else. If not, then never mind. I was wrong. I thought so. Never mind. Forget about it. Okay. Yes, I have Kat. Say hello. This is Harper. Hi, Harper. Let's do Jeff next. Jeff Holland. J.K. Holland.
Hey-ho. This was a hoot. It very much helps that I spent ages 14 through 25 just absorbing film noir. So that helps.
Double Indemnity, my favorite movie. Yeah.
I to this day think Fred McMurray was grossly miscast, but we can deal with that when we have to deal with it. Maybe I should go back and rewatch it. I don't know. Anyway, I thought the combo dice roll was weirdly intuitive, which I don't always run into when we're doing these. It takes me so long to catch up to all this stuff in the first place. So if I don't feel utterly lost, that's a definitely good sign.
Yay!
I definitely just need to read some backstory materials so that I have a better grasp on what some people are talking about when they say it. And yeah, good stuff.
Awesome. I want to make one reflection on that, which is a lot of the intensity in the storyteller system is in creating the character, because and then once you get into the game, the system itself flows pretty nicely because you kind of know who you are, right? Like you figured out your
I felt like hey, getting context under my feet definitely is going to help, and I'll keep that under consideration.
Yeah. But I thought you did great today. I thought it was amazing. Let's do M next.
Hi, I'm M. You can find me on Twitter at DobsonM. Getting that out of the way so I don't forget. I thought this was great. I was having the minus is on my end. I'm having internet connection issues, so it wasn't always easy for me to follow what was going on. So that kind of was a bummer, but I'm really glad that it seemed to sort itself out near the end when things were getting really interesting. I'm afraid what's going to happen. I am very much afraid, and I guess that's a good thing because now I'm interested to see what happens next.
Yes. Me too. All right. And last but not least, Kevin. Not Kevin. Yes, Kevin. It's just Kevin. So many names, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to work on my SEO. Yeah. So Kevin Myers, Jim DeBison on Twitter. I'm all over the Discord as Bisonic. The Discord has a link below, and a bunch of other Discords. And I'm not in any other games currently, but that might change after I finish reading the Ravnica book. So yes.
Awesome.
But yeah. Tonight I loved it. We're all still like trying to feel out how we interact with each other, and I think that'll be fun once we get into a groove with that. But like the system's really cool, and I'm not big on vampire stories when they're just straight horror, but if you add politics, I'm right there.
Yeah. And that's what Camarilla's the horror of the elite. It is politics and death and blood. Yeah, it's all of that. So awesome. And just I would give my pluses and minuses for the night. I hope my pluses that I hope I gave you guys an introduction to Vampire that allowed you to see how the systems work, right? In a way that made sense. And how some of the structures in which you are going to play over the next few weeks, probably between 12 and 16, are kind of play out, right? There's a power structure in which you exist, that you're not at the top of it, it's vaguely feudal, and you get hungry, and what the fuck is that about, right? And then the rest of it,
you punch through car doors.
And sometimes you punch through car doors or attack your sire and create a perfect point at which to create a cliffhanger for the end of the night. And so, I just enjoy the hell out of playing with each and every one of you tonight. And I will tell you, the first time playing a new game together as a group is always a little bit awkward, which is kind of why I pushed the narrative at the beginning, just so you could get a feel for things. And then started to ask you how you interact. And that's just kind of my philosophy with new gamers is give them a bit of the world, give them a chance, give them a little bit more of the world, give them a chance until they get their feet wet, right? And so I hope that worked well for you all. And I am Throck Plays, also known as Sean. I am a co-founder here at Welcome to the Party. Welcome to the Party is an inclusion and equity-oriented role-playing game Twitch channel and Discord community where we teach people how to stream and then give them a place to do it. We are proudly sponsored by So Nerdware Games, who does amazing nerdware stuff you wear that is nerd-based. And you can get 10% off their shirts are awesome. And we're soon to have our own merch shop on there, including merch for a Crusade of Thorns. If you've been enjoying this, it'll be a great place for you to get a t-shirt. We're going to have a whole line of stuff for a bunch of our different games. You can get 10% off there by putting welcome into when you check out. We're also, of course, supported by Devon Rue and Tabletop Loot, and we love them deeply. And this entire thing is, our hope is that you will join us in donating to Rainbow Railroad, who we are fundraising for throughout the course of our Crusade of Thorns triple Chronicle. Rainbow Railroad, as you can see below, exists to help members of the LGBT community living in places where they are not able to live freely get away from that and find a free place to live. And we think that is a pitch-perfect charity to be supporting during the course of this campaign. And so we hope you'll join us in supporting them. Last but not least, and then we're going to go raid our dear friends at Soulbear RPG who are doing their, I think it's a comedy of Strahd tonight, is you can see right below me here 2 books. One book is the Sabbat Guide book. That book is a bunch of rules that we wrote, so if you want to run the Sabbat in V5, you now have the rules to do it through that. It is a beta, of course. If you have feedback, you should feel free to hit us up. And the other one is the Camarilla Guidebook, which is a fluffy book. It is full of all sorts of information about many of the NPCs you met here this evening, the domains of the Camarilla, the major players within the Camarilla. And we're going to be putting these together and publishing them as a book for free to you, the people who watch A Crusade of Thorns, hopefully by the end of the month. So, with that, join us on Saturday at noon Eastern for the next chapter of A Crusade of Thorns, Episode 2 of the Sabbat game, where they are dealing with their own games of instinct. So now, we will go and raid Soulbear RPG, our dear friends and partners in all things related to, did that actually let me raid? Am I raiding?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, sweet. I don't see a little pop-up. I don't have a little pop-up, which is weird. Why is it not letting me raid?
They're doing Tal'Dorei tonight, by the way.
Oh, they're doing Tal'Dorei. Okay, cool.
Which is really awesome.
Yeah. So, Death by Mage, thanks for the biddies. Raid? Raid! Raid! Hang on. I don't know why this isn't working. This is weird. I'm actually going to log out of my personal account and then log into the Welcome Party account so that I can click the bloody raid button, and we will let that be a thing. Okay.
Hey,
sorry.
even this is content. Everything is content.
This is content? Yeah. So, okay, there we go. And gotta mute myself. Boink. What? No, raid.
And thank you to everyone in the chat. That was absolutely amazing. It was so much fun talking to y'all, hearing y'all, like,
do the
react.
thing. So apparently, Twitch raid is broken.
Oh,
because now it's flashing between 1 and 18 raiders, and I don't know what's up with that. So
go search for Soul Bear.
So we're going to do a /host because sadly I cannot raid them for some reason. Host Soulbear RPG, and yes, we're gonna. Oh, how about raid? I'm gonna click the goddamn raid button. Okay. Oh my god.
Now it's flashing something different.
Now it's flashing something different. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Woo.
Did it happen?
Yeah.
Yes, it happened, and we're out.